Hi there, I'm a 40-year-old married woman, currently pregnant with our second child. We live in a multi-generational home with my parents, which has been both a gift and a learning experience. Lately, I've been making more of an effort to set some more intentional goals, mainly focused on removing things from my life that feel toxic or no longer serve me. And I don't just mean actual toxins, although those matter too. For me, that includes things like debt, clutter, convenience foods, relationships, or ideas that I've outgrown and a lack of authenticity. These are the areas I'm working on clearing out so I can make more space for the kind of life I want to build for myself and for my family. I think like most people, I have found that making these kind of changes is hard enough on its own, but it can be really hard when you are living in a multi-generational household or even a household with roommates, or if you've got a group of friends or extended family members or chosen family who you live with. Those influences can often deter some of the things that you personally want to change. So I've been making a concentrated effort to focus on one thing at a time each day. One of the ways that I've been leaning into that is through food, specifically how we eat and what I bring into our kitchen. I do the bulk of the cooking in our home, so I've started focusing more on making things from scratch. On weekends, I try to carve out time to meal prep so that our weekdays run more smoothly. It's become a real rhythm for me. I do batch cooking, freezing meals, prepping breakfast, and even desserts, so I can feel a little bit better about what I'm serving. I typically try to focus on things that I can easily get from my preschooler, but also things that I can also utilize and easily make for dinners and other meals, to put into my husband's lunches or to make him a plate when he gets home. He sometimes isn't able to eat with the rest of us. But my dad still works, and so I also try to have things that are ready for him, that if he chooses to pack something for a lunch or to take leftovers, it's easier for him. So by doing these things on the weekend or doing large cooking days, it can make things so much easier for everyone. And speaking of easier, cooking and baking with a toddler is really challenging, especially when you've got a lot of people in the home. There's just always somebody around. So I found that if I give her one specific task, like today I'm making Rice Krispie treats that she requested, she wanted to put the sprinkles on, I go ahead and let her do that because it's going to run a lot more smoothly, and it's a great way for me to include her in the process without feeling completely overwhelmed. On this particular day, I was working on some really simple things. I did a batch of muffins, some garlic knots, and an easy snack. It's not fancy, but it is nourishing, and it feels like one more step towards creating the kind of home life that I am personally striving for. I feel a little bit more grounded and thoughtful and true to who I want to be as I am going through and doing this. I've made bread several times over the years, but I always used a bread maker, and right now, just because of the limited space, my bread maker is in storage. So for the longest time, I really used that as an excuse to just stop making it altogether. But I know how much I prefer homemade bread and rolls, so I've been making a real effort to learn how to knead the dough by hand. It's most definitely a work in progress, but I am embracing the baby steps and just reminding myself that it's all part of the journey. So if any of you have any tips on kneading bread and things that make it easier, more manageable, I am 100% all ears. Please put that in the comments because I am definitely trying to improve my bread making skills. One thing that I have found is really nice about doing this in a multi-generational home, like I mentioned earlier, somebody is always around. That can be helpful when I'm doing something new or something that requires a certain amount of concentration, that my parents are usually here, somebody's here, and they can play with my daughter or, color and hang out with her, so she doesn't feel like she's not getting the attention that she wants in that moment, but I'm also able to slow down and take a minute to go ahead and make nourishing food for my family, and that's something that's really important to me, and I don't know that I would be able to do it in the exact same way if we didn't live with family. I have several reasons about why I've been trying to shift towards more intentional living. I think the main one is that there are fewer additives and preservatives in the food that I can make myself. Financially, it makes more sense because you do save money when you're making certain things yourself. I do like that there's a more sustainable aspect to it. There's definitely less packaging. I also prefer the kind of back to basics mindset. But I think a really big one is just part of personal growth. I get a real sense of accomplishment when I make something from scratch. I think it's a creative outlet for myself. And I also feel like I'm reclaiming a little bit of control right now. The world is a little bit uncertain. Things kind of change. Nothing feels like it's permanent. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks again for watching.